Warning: the content you're about to watch is based on a true story. Real people have been affected by this. Every student deserves the right to accessible and equitable higher education, but not all students receive it. Today, I'm going to draw a slice from the life of one of these students, or at least what I call drawing. This is Chelsea Sodden. She's an 18-year-old high school graduate on her way to university. Chelsea is like most students at her university, except that she has multiple chronic illnesses, including chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia with joint hypermobility, and lasting mobility issues. However, she does not let her disabilities get in the way of her dreams. It's the first week of classes, and Chelsea is beyond excited for this new chapter in her life. Her very first 2 classes go smoothly, but when it is time for her 3rd class, she discovers that it's in a building that isn't accessible, so she can't attend it. She later finds out there are other buildings with classes she can't attend. The university does not record lectures. They don't have the facilities in place to do it, and implementing it doesn't seem to be a priority. Chelsea is so disheartened. She even has some darker thoughts that most people, if not everyone in her position, would experience. Or perhaps it's just puberty still messing with my head, she thinks. But problems also arise outside her educational setting. Because of her accessibility needs, there is only one residence that she can realistically live in, and it is the most expensive. It costs almost twice as much as the cheapest accommodation at her university. But there's no financial support to help her pay because she has the maximum maintenance allowance. While the loan covers the accommodation fee, Chelsea barely has any money left over after paying it. Meanwhile, one of her doctors recommends she get a custom-made computer chair, and despite both Chelsea and her university chasing this up, it is never delivered. So she has to work from her bed, as the standard chair that comes with her room causes issues with her hips and doesn't support her back. Chelsea is not alone.
Just like Chelsea, thousands of students entering UK's higher education institutions face challenges that impair their ability to attain education as compared to the rest of the students. Do you know that 14.6% of students entering UK's higher education institutions are disabled? Disabled students are not a homogeneous students cohort, as disability can range from learning difficulty and mental health issues to chronic illnesses and physical disability. Higher education is linked to higher gross annual income. Over the past decade, government expenditure on tertiary education has decreased significantly, which resulted in major share income of higher education institutions coming from tuition, which in turn translated into higher student loan debts, which has tripled over the past decade. Let's have a look how we are supporting disabled students in achieving goal for equitable post-16 education in Scotland. Do you know that nearly half of the students entering UK's higher education institutions reported that they were not offered an opportunity to familiarize themselves with the campus ahead of commencing their study? Additionally, only 7.9% of disabled students reported receiving disability-specific career advice in past year, despite a survey showing that 77% of universities offered tailored career and employability initiatives. Around 15% of disabled learners are currently dropping out of their apprenticeship programs because the requirements are not identified upfront and the right support is not properly applied for. Graduates with disability are more likely to be unemployed than graduates without disabilities. They are also more likely to be working part-time as compared to their counterparts. Majority of disabled students entering higher education felt that their transition was negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. They also reported feeling concerned about their employment prospects and found adapting to remote learning and teaching very difficult. 80% of all disabled students reported that COVID-19 had negative impact on their mental health and well-being.
The numbers are clear. We are failing our students. To help eliminate adversities arising from cracks in the system, we have come up with the following easy-to-implement solutions. Number 1, for an equitable Scotland, we must start early. It is important for children from the most disadvantaged backgrounds to be informed about their education, to know that higher education or university is an option for everyone. Youth clubs and community centres are a great way for children to de-stress, but they can also be a great resource in helping children better their prospects with higher education workshops and homework clubs should they need it. Number 2, for those who are already in higher education, it is important to create sessions for focus and support groups to come together and propose ideas to the higher education institution on what they can improve. Number 3, providing students in higher education institutions, in particular universities, with double-sided feedback forms is a great way to improve communication. Both recipients and providers of support can give feedback. This way, each problem in the system can be identified and addressed quickly. Number 4. At the moment, most academic staff are forced to be personal tutors. The personal tutor role should be a dedicated one. Students can get the right kind of emotional support they need, and staff members with this role can have the proper training necessary. Remember Chelsea? Let's not let Chelsea and thousands like her face the repercussions of a system that is failing them and putting their future at risk. Help us make a difference. Thank you.